Hey folks, Paul Abernathy here. Welcome to Electrical Code Academy and welcome to another video where we're going to talk about electrical exam preparation. You know, preparing for the electrical exam. It doesn't matter which state you're in, okay? Usually, in order to get a license, you have to pass some type of gateway test, and that is to test what you know that qualifies you to enter into the trade at a certain level, whether it's journeyman or a master level. Now, depending on where you are in the country, every test is a little different. But what we're going to talk about tonight is there are so many things that you can do to prepare for an electrical exam, and there's so many wrong ways to prepare for an electrical exam. For example, if you just run out and you just grab your code book, and I'll grab mine here. If you just run out and grab this code book and think that you're going to flip through this and actually understand and learn the National Electrical Code, then you're sadly mistaken, because this is a pretty thick document. It gets done every 3 years. Things are always changing, and so it's tough. And again, if you're out there working with your hands, again, you're not glued to this code book like a lot of us are that do this for a living. So what I wanted to do is, if you haven't seen our Fast Trax program before, ask people about it, other people that have taken it. Again, the success rate on it is very high. Why? Because it is very structured. It's designed to be a structured program that walks you through the different steps. That's what it's all about. And so I wanted to show it to you today for those that aren't familiar with the Fast Trax program, and also show you the best place to go get our Fast Trax program. So if you're an apprentice, doesn't matter what state you're in, we prepare you for taking an electrician's exam. Okay, now we have links that'll take you to the business law and things like that if you're trying to get your contractor's license. We only focus on the electrician aspect of it, electrical. We don't teach the OSHA. We don't teach fire alarm. We don't teach the business law. We give you links to approved courses that we recommend for those certain aspects of it. We focus on the part that seems to be the hardest for folks, and that is the exam, the electrical exam itself, getting past the calculations, understanding all those things. That's what we kind of focus on. That's what our specialty is. So we try to focus on what we're good at. And so if you don't know who I am and you haven't before, 2017 or 2020 code book, just go to the front, look under code panel 5 or code panel 17, and you'll see my name in there. I've been teaching the code for over 30 years. I've taught probably at this point, Darlene would tell me, she works in our office, probably over 50,000, 60,000 students through the years, whether it's online or in classrooms or in anything that I've done as far as courses I've created that people have purchased and things like that. So I'm used to teaching you what you need to know to be successful in an exam. But I'm going to be honest with you, I go a little further than that. Our program will really test your skills. And you'll struggle at times, trust me. You're going to have moments where you look at it and go, I just don't get it. We do this on purpose. So this is why our course is like no other course. Not only are we going to work you through it, but we're going to ask you competency reviews. We're going to test your knowledge on it. And these aren't all simple multiple choice type of things that you get. Okay? Our program is designed to walk you through the important steps and then quantify that you actually understand those steps. But you know what? Even if you do struggle along the way, I'm always here to help you. All you got to do is come to our Wednesday night sessions. If you're a Fast Trax student or a member of our program, you get access to Wednesday nights. You can come for an hour. You can stay for 2 hours, however long we're in there. Maybe you don't want to come this week, but you pop in next week and you want to come. It's totally an open door policy. Come anytime you want. Bring your questions. Anything that you encounter, we're there to answer for you. And I think that's what makes our program so unique, is that you're not left hanging. Okay, I am always there to be able to help you. All right. So anyway, let's go on and look at it real quick so you can kind of see what's in the program. Okay, so here's kind of what the program looks like. And let me see if I can go on and tidy this up for you a little bit. Let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. Bear with me. I will do my best to kind of tidy this up for you. So we can see if we can't get a little bit more out of this. And we'll do our best to get some more out. Scroll it down here for you. Okay. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to look at the program. Let me get a little bit more here for you. Sorry about that, folks. And be able to show you what's actually in the program. So here you see over here, what we've got is it's broken down into the different units, okay? So we have this unit here, and this first one is how you use the program. So this should be the first thing you look at is how you use it. Now real quick, let me go on and zoom this out so you can see it a little bit better. And that's probably why you couldn't see it. So let's go on and adjust this again. I'm sorry, I had to adjust this out. I probably should have done this ahead of time, but I never knew how we were going to look during the class. And again, we do things on the fly here sometimes. So let me see if I can get out here so you can see a little bit better. I really want to show you some of these features here. All right, so let's see if we can't bring it up here. And let's maybe give it a little bit more on this side here. All right, let's bring it back over in here, and I will bring it down. Okay, there we go. All right, let's bring it up here, and then I will expand it down so we can see a little bit. All right. All right. Okay. So what we've got is the Fast Trax program right here on the right. And one of the first things you'll do when you come into our program is, first of all, the meeting information's there. If you come over here to, let's see here, let me get rid of that. If you see, this is what you go to first. If there's any errors and corrections that we've identified in the program, they'll be in here. Now, here's the most important part about our program is broken down into sections. And you go through these sections piece by piece by piece in our program. There's a lot of people that do videos online, but they only give you little bits and pieces, and they don't support it. And so anytime you have any questions, you kind of don't know where to go. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to be there to answer questions for people that aren't really in our program. I don't have the time for that. So if you're in our program and you have questions, more than happy to come over and join in. But I want you to see here, section 1, and you see how that's broken down. So we're going to talk about the introduction. We're going to give you definitions. We're going to do boxes and enclosures. And that's, for example, pull boxes, box fill, all those type of things are all covered there. Cables, we're going to talk about the different cable assemblies. And then, of course, you have raceways and conductors. And what we're going to cover in there is raceway fill, the different types of conductors, the insulation types, THHN, THWN-2, the 90-degree ratings, 60 degree, 75 degree, and the ampacity tables of 31016. I'm going to cover all of that in there. And then you're going to progressively move on to the next unit. And the next unit, section 2, that's going to be 6 is going to be general provisions, okay, for one-family dwellings. And that's going to cover the general stuff like wall spacing requirements and understanding the 6-foot, 12-foot rule and things like that, and the 2-foot, 4-foot for countertops. All that's going to be covered in here. And then you'll have specific provisions in all of your material there. And then you're going to have your load calcs. Now, this is kind of where people get humbled, is the load calcs. Because, again, what you think you might know when it comes to a standard method versus an optional method, in the real world, you're probably going to use the optional method the majority of the time. But you got to know how to use the standard method because you got to know how to do the neutral load calculation. Unless you want to just make it the same size as your hot conductors. And again, in some cases, that's not practical to do that with the cost of conductors today and different things like that. So, but for an exam, you need to know because the chances are they're going to ask you a standard calculation. So it's a part 3 of Article 220 type of question. And we want to make sure you know how to apply the demand factors where necessary. We want to know how to do range calculations. We want to know how to do AC versus heat, for example, if you're dealing with a situation where you have non-coincident loads, where the AC is not going to be on at the same time as the heat type of scenario. You need to know how to do those calculations. What about the largest motor? How many of you heard that before? It says always account for the largest motor, and you're trying to capture that additional 25%. So we go into all that, but again, you always can come to our Wednesday night sessions and ask any questions, and that's another beautiful thing about our program. I also should mention that you also get access to a special area at the Sparky Hub, which is where students can gather and post questions, and only other students can see it. That way, you don't have to worry about being shy about sharing something out on the social web and that type of thing. So again, that's just another resource that we made available for you. And then, of course, you'll get into things like services and electrical equipment. We'll talk about the things like grouping, 230.70, 230.70A. All those type of things are all going to be covered there. All the nuances about services. Number of services to a building, how to do maybe 2 services on a building, things like that, right? When you can and when you can't, all that kind of stuff's covered in here. Now, you go on to the next once you finish that, and hang with me, folks, because I'm going to show you inside, a special peek inside of one of the units, so you actually see all the tasks that you have to do. This is why it's a structured program. Look, do me a favor. Don't waste your money on DVDs and videos, okay? I'm going to tell you, I did a study, and I'm going to show you this. I did Unit 8 in our program, and Unit 11 are flat out the 2 and 13 are the toughest units in here. So I did a video on it, and I went over the competency review, and I'm going to show y'all what a competency review looks like. I went over that and videoed it and shared it with students. When students did the competency review and they watched the video, they did 100% or higher than 90 plus. When they didn't have access to the video, their scores suffered. Now, you might be thinking that's because they learned better over video versus reading it. That's not true. What happens is we gave them the answers in the video, so all they did was go and actually key in the information. Now, how do we know that? Because we track the time. We know when you log into a unit, we know how long you're in a unit, and when people watch the video, they just went in there and regurgitated it and moved on. The problem with that is we don't know that you're actually retaining that info, and that's a problem because I want you to struggle, because the struggle is part of the journey, and if you can go through it and you're not struggling, then you're really starting to understand the material. And it's important for me that you understand the material. That's the whole point of our program, is to teach you the code, but give you something to walk away from it. And you can't put a price on that at all. Now, you're going to go through multifamily. So yes, you're going to learn how to do a 6-story building with 6 units, a 12-story building. You're going to go into all those nuances, okay? How to size the services. You're going to learn how to do it in the standard method, and you're going to learn how to do it in the optional method, right? Optional method is so much easier, but why do you need to know how to do the standard method? Because when it comes to that neutral, the requirements of the neutral in 220.61, that happens to be in part 3. It's not in part 4. So you don't get the luxury of using the optional method for sizing the neutral. That's why you have to know how to do the standard method. Now, in our reviews, a lot of times there are certain questions that students will just skip. And I've often wondered, why are you skipping it? It's because they don't know how to do it. And even if it's shared in here in extreme detail, when it's put in front of you and you have to read it, people freak out. That's why I tell people, bring that question to Wednesday night. Why? Because we have a whole room of people who want to learn from it. It's a kind of like a community now. In fact, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of grown into a community on our Wednesday nights. We have folks that come, Schwartzies and Rons and all those that come every week. You know, Jesus that comes every week. You know, Jesus is always with us, but we have our own Jesus that joins us each week. So, hey, look, it's a real place that you can come, and everything is open. Ask any question you want in there, and because the goal is to learn. That's what we want you to do. We want you to learn. We want you to come away learning something. All right. So anyway, we have the comprehensive provisions, talks about all the little nuances of multifamily dwellings, but then we get into the load calculations, and it gets pretty damn deep. I ain't gonna lie. If you think you got it, wait until you do Unit 8, 11, 13. Okay. Now, looking up things in the code is important, and we do teach you those things. You learn how to find the roots. You learn how to use the index. But what you're going to learn in our programs, whether it's the 2017 version or the 2020 version, what you're going to learn is that a lot of this stuff is just going to become old hat to you. And when you're taking the exam, it's just going to pop off the page. And when you're in the real world, you're out in the world, these things you'll remember. Now, why do you remember them? Because you're reading the material and then you're being tested on it. And I'm going to grade personally every single submission. There's nobody else that'll grade them. I grade every one, and I give you feedback on every one of them. Okay? So that's those. Now, when you get through that, guess what? We're not going to let up the pressure. You get right into the commercial locations, okay? Non-dwelling applications, the general provisions, we'll talk about it, conductors, sizing, circuits, but we'll also talk about non-dwelling load calculations. So we're going to show you how to calculate a bank. We'll show you how to calculate stores. And again, I'm always here on Wednesday nights if anything's confusing to you, because I want you to learn. I think what sets my programs apart from anybody else's is the fact that our Fast Trax system is actually service marked. It is the United States Patent and Trademark has issued it for the Fast Trax program. And again, that's why we had that registered R there. We have put a lot of thought in the teaching process, how you teach in our program, okay? It is very much a structured type of program, okay? So we're going to work you through it. Then you're going to move into services, feeders, and equipment. And notice I've got a little video in here. Now, this one's titled 2017 because there wasn't any significant changes from 2017 to 2020 that we needed to change that video. I will tell you that 2023, when that one comes out, we are doing all new videos for everything. Okay, so excited about that. That should come out in probably about another month and a half. We'll have the 2023 out. Now, there'll be very few states testing on that for at least another 6 to 8 months, but we're going to have it out there so people can have it ready. So here's your reading material, your review. There's an assessment, and also there's flashcards. And I'll show you that in a second, but let's kind of go through this real quick. So then after you get through Unit 4, we're not going to let up on you. Now you get into what's called special occupancies. Check it out. We're going to teach you about the hazardous location rules, healthcare, industrial locations, special occupancies, special equipment. We're going to touch on each one of these pieces in 19 full units, folks. Every one of them has got a competency review, okay, to test your knowledge. Now, look, we're not doing this for you to struggle and go, oh, I suck. That's not our goal. Our goal is to make sure that we're hammering these things into your head, but we're spoon feeding you. We call it drip feeding all the way through the process, one unit after another. And if it generates questions to bring to Wednesday night, we want you to bring them. If you have things that you want to post on the Sparky Hub, please post it. This is a learning environment, and I think that's what makes our course different from anything else. You can buy books for exam prep. You can get them off Amazon. You can do things, but nobody supports their program like we support their program, okay? We have set records year after year. We have record students that graduate. We have people that are graduated that come back and buy courses again. We have Wednesday night session people that have finished our program years ago, and they still come. Why? Because you're like family. You join us. We talk to you. We don't talk down to you. And I think that's important, especially if you're in your journey. Now, our program works in all 50 states when it comes to getting your electrician's license, right? It's all based on the National Electrical Code, right? So if you're in a state that's NEC-based exam, then this is what you want, okay? All right, so this is the Fast Trax Black. And so now once you do that, you also see that there's tons of videos that are here for you as well. A lot of these videos some of them are old, things like that, but they're there for your enjoyment. You'll also see that we have some recorded sessions from our Wednesday nights that I like to share. Some of the more important ones like range calculations and things like that. So again, from time to time, I'll even add more in here. Right? So they're all available to you so you can catch up and watch what other classes have done on some real important topics like voltage drop or motors or transformers or something like that. We've covered it. Okay, series and parallel circuits. We have a video that's there for that. Okay, so there's a lot in here that we made available. Now, here's another big thing. Because I know it's important that you learn blueprints and aspects of blueprints, we have given you residential and commercial blueprints. Now, we have pulled these out of our other programs and made these available to you to kind of be able to look it over, see what blueprints look like, see how the different boxes and how they lay out, what the plan schedule, the panel schedule is. We're giving you those. They're all in here. Okay, that's included in our program. All right. Now, here's the other big thing that's included in our program. You ready? People pay a lot of money for practice exams, and they go searching all over the internet for practice exams. Check us out. We're going to give you our very, very, very popular video, how to identify the root of an electrical exam question. You watch that first, then you get into the database. Now check this out. Look at here. See these databases? These are databases of questions, and look at it. Watch. Look at all of them. All right, so you're sitting there going, okay, so there's 20 of those, and you were like, well, what do they look like? Now, maybe you say, well, hey, Paul, I'm taking a journeyman exam. Do I really need the maintenance one? Absolutely. Why? Because code is code. It might be titled maintenance, but it's still code, and a journeyman could have any of those questions on an exam. So you ignore the title, you just go through them. All right, now, what do I recommend you do here? When you start the Fast Trax program, I recommend that you do a practice exam every week until you knock them out. So during your first week, do number one. Okay. Now you might say, well, Paul, I'm so new into the program, I'm not going to do very well. Well, that's okay. Because what we're trying to do is get you to maneuvering through the code book. If you score low, guess what you get to do? You can take it over and over and over again, and it shuffles the questions up, but you'll get better. And that's what being proficient in the code is all about. The more you start to learn to maneuver that book, the better you're going to be, not just for an exam, but in the real world when you're out there and when it counts, okay? That's when it's going to matter. So let me look at one of these real quick so I can show you what it looks like. I just click on it. And let's start the assignment here, and it'll start. Now, here's what you've got. So here you've got 25 questions. So think about that, folks. Here's what you've got. You've got 20 practice exams, okay, with 25 each. So I'm going to do 25 times 20. That is 500 practice exams included. Now, don't forget, every competency review has anywhere between 20 to 35 to even 40 questions that you have to answer as well. So compound that. All right, so this is 500. Now you've got 19 units, and let's just average it at 30 questions per unit. So 30 times 19 is 570 competency reviews. So that's over 1,000 questions right there in the program, right? But that's not all. Here's the questions. Check it out. You get to answer these questions, right? Here, a single phase 15 or 20 amp branch circuit supplying outlets or devices installed in residential kitchens or similar rooms shall be protected by a listed arc fault circuit interrupter of the blank type. Parallel, combination, series, or individual. Okay, what do you think? Combination. There's correct. It gives you the code reference, where it is, and it always rolls back one cycle to help you out. So example, here's the 2020 edition. That's what we're in, but it also shows you where it's at in the 2017. Okay, so powerful. And so you get all of that in the program. It's included, no extra. You don't have to pay anything. You don't buy a book and then you get no questions. You're getting our course, everything. Now, with that said, I want you to notice that you can always print the book out too. People ask me, do we get a copy of the book? You can print literally any page you want in this book. And you can take these exams And you can use the book at the same time if you want, if it helps you out. Hey, we're all about learning. That's the key. We want to give you the resources, okay? So you have so many features in here. Here's what I encourage you to do. If you want to find out all of the features that are in our program, go to our website. Because if you go to our website, I have a demo up there. And that demo will show you every feature from our flashcards to our where you can go down to the study hub, where you can bookmark, where you can highlight things, where you can have it read it out loud to you. That's one of the other beautiful things about this program, is that you can actually have it read stuff to you, right? So, you know, anything you do, so you can have something read it to you and have it read out loud. Say?
Definitions. Accessible, parenthesis, as applied to wiring methods.
Okay.
Definitions. Accessible.
Beautiful. All right. So you can do that within the course. You can do that within the book. You can do it all. Okay. If you want the bookmarks, like if you leave one place and you want to bookmark it, maybe you want to highlight something to bring to Wednesday night, it'll all appear here in the highlights. So if I want to go here, let's say I highlighted something in Unit 4 right here, click it, and then click the link. Boom. Watch over here on the left. There it is. That's the link that I highlighted. Okay, you just simply left click, drag it, let off of it, and you can highlight it right there. Right? Did you see that? Here it is right here. It made a highlight. Okay, when you want to delete it, you just delete it and see how it deleted it over here. Look, I promise you, with our Wednesday night, with our Fast Trax program, you give me the time, you give me the dedication, you bring your questions, I will help you be successful. But I'm selfish. It's more to me than you passing the exam. To me, it's all about you learning the NEC. And I take a lot of pride in making sure people understand the code, and I'm always here to help you. And that's what's different about our program. Ask anybody. We don't pay for advertising. I don't pay for clicks on ads on Google. I don't pay for be in the top list. You have to search for us. People share us. People let other people know about us. We organically grow. Why? Because our students are successful. This works. I put a lot of time in this. We've picked the best books to use. We've adapted it to online. We supplemented the material with our own material. We've changed things and added things. We grade it, give you feedback. We do Wednesday nights. We give you the Sparky Hub. You can't not succeed in our program, but you got to put in the time, okay? But anyway, there's so many features on here. We're not going to take your time up tonight to talk about it, but I do want to show you what it looks like in one of the units real quick. All right, so anyway, got to finish the exams. We're not done yet, folks. We're not done. Check this out. We have some finals. Look at these. You have a master's, a journeyman, you have a journeyman, you have masters. Yeah, and some of these are timed. Look at here. You got it timed. You got 120 minutes to complete this one. Okay, 2 hours. You have 2 hours for this one. And then you have some of these that aren't timed. Now, the reason these aren't timed is because we teach you a technique. And the technique is dissection of question. So what you do is you open it up, you put your timer on your phone on 2 minutes, and you answer that question in that 2 minutes and see how well you did. And then you move on to the next question. That's dissection. And we talk about that on Wednesday nights. We explain how you do it. And so again, our program is like no other. I'm telling you, ask any of our students. If they put their heart into it, they will be successful. This is not like going on the internet and Googling it or looking on YouTube and trying to find a video here, there, that only gives you pieces that they want to dish out to you. Okay, it's called scripted content. Our program is not like that. Our program digs deep and covers a broad swath of information. Okay, and then you couple that with our questions. And again, let's show you what they look like. So let's do the residential one here, the final. I'll show you what this looks like. Start the assignment. And I want to show you how many questions you get. All right, 75 in this one. Look at that. There you go, look at that. 75 of them in there. And let's see here, let's look at the master real quick. Take these as many times as you want, by the way. All right, this one, look at this one here. This one goes up to 100 in this one, okay? So there you go. And then, of course, you've got the journeyman one. I love showing these questions because they're just great questions. And you'd be surprised how many of these questions actually appear on your electrical exam, okay? All right, so here's another 100. So you had 100, 175. But that's not it. That's not all, folks. Check this out. Check the timed questions out. Watch this. Even more questions, okay? Okay, you've got active, and here we did some examples where we showed you how these haven't been answered yet. Okay? And this is a review. All right? You click that off, you go back into it again. All right, you have an assessment in process. Okay, and you can click here. All right, did not complete the activity. You can review the activity. That way you can look at how you did. In this case, you ran out of time, right? And then you can continue and look at each one, work your way through the end. All right, show you here. Go to 100, click continue. Notice it says it's ready. And you look through each one. And there, you can look at detailed information. And you notice it says first attempt. And, oops, sorry about that. I lost my screen. So there we go. Oh, let me get back here. Bear with me. Let me get back into it. Clicked off my screen, folks. Sorry about that. All right. So you have all of these down here. You can go through. They're all extra. And they're all part of the program. We're giving them to you. They're in there. All right. So really quick, I wanted to show you what's in a program real quick in one of the folders. So let's go to one of the hardest ones, and that is Unit 8. So let's look at it. So here's in Unit 8. You have the reading material. That's the first thing you'll go over. You have your calculation forms, which you should print out a bunch of them. Okay, because the calculation forms walk you through the process and they train you. Nobody else does this, folks. We give you a step-by-step guide to help you learn the different steps. So anytime you're working a calculation, you should have this form with you. All right, then we have the competency review, but also we have, this is the video that I told you. If you're struggling, here's the video. I wish people would not watch the video. I wish people would struggle. But we experimented with giving you the video. But here I can tell you, if you're struggling, there's the video, because I tell you, people do struggle. All right, so let's show you what the reading material looks like real quick. So here's the reading material. Let's go to the very beginning. So we walk you through how to get the square footage. Okay, everything has call outs, right? So that you know what we're talking about. Highlight, these are highlights that I put on here. Let me remove some highlights for you. Left click. Okay, remove a highlight. We talk about gathering information, what you have to do, going around, getting all your appliances, getting nameplates and everything. We have arrows where you talk about E, for example. E is dealing with right here. E is talking about electric clothes dryer. Okay, and here's that form. You have this nice little nifty form. You can print the one in your database, or you can print it from here, because up here, you see right here, you can print any page you want. You can bookmark any page you want straight from your console, okay? All right, so here's an example. We give you a scenario. This is a single family dwelling. We give you all the parameters right here, right? And then you proceed to walk you through the calculation using the form. So it'll talk about it. It'll give you code references. Now, here's the thing I'll tell you. I'll give you a little tip. Anytime you see a code reference in these chevrons, what you're supposed to do is stop, grab your code book, go to the code section, read it thoroughly, then come back to the program and continue on. This way it moves you in and out of the unit. That is done on purpose. We're trying to not keep you in the course material. We're trying to move you in and out from the course material into the code book. That's the whole process that we're trying to do, right? Okay, so you go through every little piece. We will show you how to do every little element. Now, once you're completed, then you're going to come down and do the competency review. And here's what sets us apart. Watch this review. This review is so important because it's not all just A, B, C, D. You get a couple of those, right? There's one example of that right there. But these are actually, you have to type in your code reference and you have to type in your answers, okay? In order for you to get this right. Now, if you leave any of your code references blank, it doesn't matter whether your answer is correct. We're marking it wrong. And if you get below a 70%, you're going to redo this unit and submit this competency again. You're not ready to move on. You're not. I want you to be ready. So you need to read it again because you'll get more out of it the second time you read it, the third time you read it. So if you struggle, it's okay. I'm here to help. But if you get over 70, then we will give you the answers to the questions you got wrong with the detailed explanation and a code reference so that you can go back and read it and look at it and go, okay, I get it now. I see why I got this wrong. And that's the whole purpose here. Now, once you go through and fill everything out, and here's a neat one. So this is kind of the concept that you're seeing now with a lot of the states. In Texas is one for the masters. They're going to give you a scenario, right? And then they ask you a bunch of questions on the scenario. Look what we do here. We are testing you. We give you the same scenario. We ask you to do a certain thing using the standard method, and then we ask you to do it using the optional method. And then we ask you to do the neutral load calculation, which you know you have to use the standard to do it. All the information is there. People struggle, and it's okay because this stuff we take for granted. How many times have you looked at a service and just went, that's a 200 amp, or that's a 100 amp? But do you really know how to calculate it? Don't you want to know? I mean, we're professionals here. This is what we do for a living. I don't want a foot surgeon doing brain surgery. I want a brain surgeon. I want a specialist. You're a specialist. This stuff you need to know. There's two halves of this trade, okay? There's the physical part, the hands-on. You can get good and proficient at that. But the ones that rise to the top have the mental game. The NEC is the mental game, okay? Anybody can learn how to bend conduit, pull raceways, pull conductors, okay? You can learn how to make terminations, put in devices. But do you know why we do what we do for the code? Whether you agree or disagree with it, do you know what the code says? It's so critical in our profession. Let's take a lot of pride in our work, okay? I know we've become a point where there's a woke society, but at the end of the day, we're professionals. We want to know the difference. I want to go to work saying, you know what? I know more than this guy. I know more than that guy, okay? I know more than the average person because I've studied this stuff. And that's what this course will do for you, okay? Now, once you fill it all in, you come right down here and you click the submit button and it'll come to me and I will grade your work, okay? Now, if you get halfway through and you want to take a break, that's okay. You can just come right down here and click the save button and it'll save all your work and then you can come back later and finish it. There should be no reason for you to leave anything blank because you don't need to be in a hurry to submit anything. Relax. If something, you can't find the answer to it, just stop and save it. Go read the course again. And let's say I'm doing this one right here. Watch this, folks. Say I'm doing this one right here, number 2. Let's just say I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh, I'm struggling. I could go to the code book, but I also can do this. Check this out. I'm opening up the course material. We're in Unit 8, so I go to Unit 8, click on Unit 8, and I look down here and I try to see what the calculation is going for. So single family dwelling, and this looks like it's asked for the general lighting. And here you go, here's the general lighting. Click on it. And here it kind of I can rehash all the information in there. Here's the demands in line 4, okay, for the general lighting. I can relook at it again if I need to. If you need to refresh your memory, it's all right there for you to be able to pull up, okay? I tell you, it's a beautiful thing. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you just want to do this. Maybe you want to go to the review and answer these questions, and maybe you want to put in some and say, I'm going to come back later. Just do me a favor. Don't submit blanks. At least try, even if you're wrong, try to find it. Give me a code reference to support your answer. Always give me code references. So anyway, look at how many you got here. So here is 21. Okay, some of the other units have even more. Now, in here, you've got the drill work. Some of them had drill work, the same thing, where you can work these out as well. We give you so many tools to be successful. Check us out. What is the minimum distance from the outside edge of a bathroom basin that a wall receptacle outlet can be located within a dwelling unit? 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Boom, you can check your work. Right there, you see the answer is correct. If you by chance get it wrong, guess what else you can do? You go over here and you hover over it. You left click it, or you click on it, and then you go and you can actually go to the area in the code in your course. When it's wrong, it'll show up a link to where you can go, okay? But this one has to be correct. I'll show you what that looks like. So let's go to the next one, and I'll do it wrong here. So let's just say I'll just click that one. I didn't even read it, and we'll check our work. All right, well, I got lucky and that one was right. Let's go to the next one. I get them right even when I guess. All right, so let's do this one, 410. Let's check our work. Okay, see that it's wrong. Now see this right there? Okay, incorrect. See this little thing here? I can pull it down like that. All right, and let's see here. Oops. Feedback. Oops, hold on here. I can grow this thing out here for you. All right, maybe it's not the ones that have the feedback. That might be, oh, that's your Q&A questions that you get at the end of other units, the drills. This is just a competency drill at the end before you move on. Okay, again, so many features in here, we forget. These are, okay, so the drill work is a checkup before you move on. So we take some of the important aspects of it and add it before you move on to the next unit, right? So you don't have to check your work. You can submit them without checking your work and we'll grade them for you, okay? But you go through it. But that's what this is doing, is trying to check your competency, right? True or false? It is highly recommended, but not required, that all brand circuits that supply 125 volt single phase 50 and 20 amp outlets installed in dwelling unit bedrooms are protected by an arc fault circuit interrupter. It is highly recommended, but not required. No, that's false. That's right. Why is it false? And oh, here's what gives you. Sorry, the other one just didn't have a reference. See this? When I hover over it, look what it does. It gives you the code section, 210.12a for the NEC. That's what I was talking about. Okay. So there you go. It tells you that you click on that, and here you can see right there that it gives you the reference in the NEC. Okay. So look, powerful. And I didn't even add those questions to it. So now there's another how many drills you have. That's tons of stuff. But also I want to show you something else. Study tools, flashcards. You should be using your flashcards after every session before you end on a positive note. So I click my flashcards. And remember, you can actually make your own flashcards on just about anything. I recommend you make flashcards on all of the important tables in the code, all the articles in the code. That way you can just flip through them, right? So calculating load for each laundry circuit in a dwelling unit, 1500 VA, okay, 1500 VA. Okay, next card, appliance, okay, utilization equipment built in standard sizes and types. Okay, standard sizes, standard types, that is appliances. Okay, non-coincident loads, loads that will not work on simultaneously. Okay, so 2 or more loads that are unlikely to be used at the same time, not in simultaneous use. Okay. Look, you can even make your own right here, create a card. I click here, I can type whatever I want. Let's just say I want to do an article. I go article 210, okay? And down here, I can do branch circuits. And then save, all right? So you can put all of them in there. Man, you want to be snappy on an exam, right? So 210, branch circuits, boom. 215, feeders, okay? You can just boom, 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 430, motors, okay? Get used to it, and you become so much better. Really, the tools are here. All you've got to do is use them. All right, so that's enough of that. Look, I get excited when I think about the program. I get excited about all of the features that we have. And you got Wednesday night sessions you can come to. You got the Sparky Hub, private forum. Once you become a member, you get access to it, exclusive access. to it. A lot of our Wednesday night sessions are recorded and shared. There's just all the questions database that you get. You get the, what else? The flashcards. You get the README feature where it reads it back to you. There's so much in here. You can print anything you want at any time. You can print the little tables off, the little charts off. We're always here to help you. Now, where can you go to get all this? Because so people ask, what's the website that you recommend for this? Here, and I'm going to show you what our website is real quick so that I can give you an idea of where you go. All right. So let's go on and go there real quick in case you're wondering what we're talking about is right here. So this is our website at fasttraxsystem.com. You see it up in the thing. You simply go here. You've got this information and support tab right here. Here's where you get to the Cengage portal login for your Fast Trax courses. Here's the chat room that we have. Here's the Sparky Hub link. You can become a teacher or an affiliate. We have an affiliate program. Here's all our courses right here, Fast Trax courses. We also have some free courses. Click on the free course. And we have a course that is boxes and enclosures that you can sign up for. It's free right here on the site. Okay, that type of thing. You can take it and all kinds of just good stuff here. But this is where you go. If you don't have our mobile app, get it. Go over here and click on mobile app and you go right here. And you can download it by scanning a barcode on your phone, or you can just click on this link and you can get it downloaded to your phone. But here's a little tip. If you take this link and you right click it, and you copy it and you post it here, then watch what happens. I'll see if this works. I'll paste it in here. Now watch what happens. Notice it creates the website. Now what you can't see, and I'll show it to you because you can't see it. I'll move it over because I want you to be able to see what this does. This is so cool. Check that out. It actually adds all of them to your desktop. So I can do anything. I can get the chat from here. I can click the Sparky Hub from here. I can click anything in here and it will open up right on my desktop. In fact, it'll open up the chat room in a separate box. It'll open up the Sparky Hub in a separate box. All those type of things can be done. So that's a tip. You can actually use this on your desktop and laptop, not just use our app on your phone. That's why we went to our own apps to be able to do those type of things, right? All right, so fasttraxsystem.com, you see the URL right here. If you're interested in it, you have any questions, if you're looking at our Black, there's a demo there. Watch the demo. You'll learn all the features, even more than what I talked about tonight, okay? So if you already have a license and you want to get proficient in residential, commercial, grounding and bonding, AC/DC theory and magnetisms and motors and transformers, we have a course for all of those type of things. But if your goal is to pass an exam or to become proficient in the National Electrical Code, then you want the Fast Trax Black program. Now, we do have a Plus program. Now, the Plus program just gives you access to a bunch of additional videos that the normal Fast Trax Black doesn't have access to. Also, if you get the Fast Trax Plus, once we launch the Fast Trax Tube, which is our own exclusive video platform, you're going to get whatever time you purchased. It's an annual purchase. You're also going to get that access over on Fast Trax Tube for the same amount of time included. Okay? So it's huge. And we've got so much coming. We would love to see you as part of the family. So hopefully you got something out of today's episode. We're here to support you. We want you to learn. If you're not preparing for an exam and you just want to learn the NEC better, this is the course to get. This is the one that will keep you engaged. It'll be fun. You'll enjoy coming to class and you're going to learn something, I guarantee. Till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless.